Hi, I'm Lexi. I'm an artist. I work in all sorts of different mediums, and this is my sketchbook. I wanted to give you a full tour of what's going on in this little guy today because I think it's an interesting overview of what I've been thinking about and working with creatively since January of this year. I'm going to talk about the mediums that I used, new art supplies that I discovered, subject matter that I was into, and just generally show how my sketchbook practice eventually does lead into final works of art, including the oracle cards that I create for my Patreon subscribers every month. So, buckle up, take some notes, because I've really grown an obsession with some of these art supplies, some of which I had never heard of before. And leave any comments and questions that you may have about my creative process or anything that you see here. I'd love to talk about art. Please? All right, let's get into it. Hi, welcome to my sketchbook. This is the kind of sketchbook that I have right here. And this is the name of the artist who designed the sticker. Thanks to my friend M for giving me the sticker. I love this little guy, such a perfect shape and size. I started this sketchbook at the beginning of the year and originally was doing a daily drawing project. So as you can see here, on January 1st, 2026, I started it. And at the beginning of the year, I was definitely playing a lot more with fine tip pens and the Posca markers. And I was in this really strong, kind of like neons time. I wrote some poetry and was just inspired by my garden. We're starting a pumpkin patch grown from the seeds of the gourds we smashed in the backyard. The key is to keep smashing beyond the feeling of I should be done. The magic comes in the surrender. This is a common practice in my friend group these days, is once all of our pumpkins are done, and if we have any gourds that are long past due, we'll just kind of do like a rage room with them. So that's what this was inspired by. All of us smashing pumpkins with a bunch of yard tools and workshop tools. Started getting sleepy while drawing these birds, just some different Florida birds. This is from a night where I did an entire composition, and same friend M as the sticker gave me some great advice when I was just down on the spread that I had made. You know, I was 4 days into the year. I wanted it to be good. I felt attached to some outcomes still. And she just reminded me that I could just cover the whole thing and start over. And so that's what I did. I ended up just kind of like incorporating some interesting imagery. This kind of feels like a Russian doll sort of situation to me. And then like a chalice, a burning candle, and see the other compositions sort of like coming through. Really interesting and a helpful learning opportunity for me. Some anatomical drawing. I also have been loving doing these little quilts lately that just have their own little squares, and then I just kind of fill them with whatever. This one's based on the tarot. Cups, swords, pentacles, wands. This is a portrait of a friend's dog who ended up passing away the following day, and I'm so glad that I decided to draw her. It feels really special. Here's her little face and her little paws. She's underneath a blanket out on the front porch, surrounded by stars, as she should be. This is one that I did that I thought was ugly, and so I put a sticker over top of the ugliest one and said it's okay to make things that you think are ugly. Definitely was still in the space of struggling with, am I doing this right? Like, if I want to share these sketchbook spreads, is it any good what I'm making? Yeah, some helpful stuff to work through, because I feel really differently about this concept than I did when I made this and was like trying to will myself into feeling like that. That's not how I felt yet. At this point, I started going deep into Posca world, so a lot of thicker lines. I really was enjoying these like broken up textures, just like kind of the scribble and the openness of the strokes. I also was enjoying the fact that I could layer more easily. In these pen drawings and these like pen and marker drawings, layering was not really as much of an option, and so this Posca medium felt a lot more forgiving. So I just kind of went all in on Posca for a bit. I love the texture. More of this sort of quilt style, but bringing in some shapes outside of just squares and rectangles. Trying out just using a couple of colors here. I love this open stroke up top here. I saw a bunch of symphony musicians walking into the symphony for practice one day, and I just love seeing them with all of their cases. So I drew this little tuba player. This is what I was doing when I was brainstorming for my January Patreon, which I did end up doing Trust the Process. Here is a preliminary caterpillar. Yeah, sometimes I'll just use this as a little workshopping space. Oh, I was drawing with my friend Em, and when I drew this guy looking at this flower all delighted, she said, it felt like a good reminder. And so, a good reminder. These are some chairs from, this one is from 1927, this one's from 1953. Just some interesting shapes. Some more, almost like postage stamp style here. Portrait of some kitty cats that I love. This is Nico. This is Jane. Really, really was enjoying the layering of Posca and colored pencil here with just like a touch of the Tombow markers. It's interesting, you could just kind of tell where I was going with the layering of the Posca and then kind of moving towards, okay, how far can I really push this? Like, how much can I layer? Nice little landscape. Funny little made-up architectures. Love this. Love this little rolling hill to the sun. This little Florida bungalow. This is one of my favorites. I went out for oysters the night before and was looking through my phone for inspiration and found this image, and I mean, yeah, it's juicy. I love it. So yummy. This is chaos. Oh, here we go. This is a collage kind of situation, so I brought in some paper textures and was just messing around with layering, lots of layering. Here's a little Gemini illustration. I love how this turned out. This ended up inspiring my duality oracle card, but it was inspired by something I found as I was like going through inspiration material, these like symmetrical figures. It made me think of the twins. We've got more collage, getting into these like chunky textures, playing with unexpected color combinations or less likely color combinations for me specifically. Why I love the Olympics. We get to see exceptional athletes navigating success and loss. We watch them grieve and celebrate. And this is a slalom ski course. You can see the little skiers. And then we got this little carousel guy. This was when I was playing with these Stabilo, kind of like crayon pencils. I just love how they layer. They're really yummy. The colors can be like made so vibrant, and they also can be altered with water, although often I'm mostly just using them dry. Some illustrations from a day at the beach. Another oracle card. So here's my duality. As I was trying to figure out either doing duality, grief, or surrender. I did end up doing like a full illustration of this little grief person, but didn't feel like it was ready yet. Here are some little images from my grandma's porch, her Virgin Mary, bird feeder that my grandpa made. This is the back of a bench that we all sit on outside on the porch, hummingbird feeder. I found a coffee cup in a Goodwill that had this horse image on it. It's a Native American image, and I just loved it. It perfectly simplifies a complicated, to me, shape. So it inspired me to like just go in and create some more sort of horse shapes and related textures. And I just love the color combination too. It's not normally one that I would do. This is fun. This was created on Big Talbot Island, and I called it Tree Prints because I took a kneaded eraser and pressed it up into the textured swirls of the tree bark of the washed up trees that are there. They're sun bleached. It's a beautiful like driftwood beach. And then I took a marker, colored over top of the texture, and used that as a stamp. And just really, it's like a fun creative experiment. It allowed me to kind of have a scavenger hunt with my work as I was looking around for interesting textures. Just like a really cool creative prompt. I returned to my Posca friends and was getting into these like big graphic images. I love this, the faces back to back. Also, oh, that is so yummy. We had some birds, well, we still do, some bluebirds living in a birdhouse in our backyard, so that's this one. I love these two color compositions, just really visually delicious. Some more kind of stamp imagery. This is from a weekend where I went camping with friends. Just some like little bits and bobs that I saw while we were out there, including a red chair. Ooh, sometimes when I have a hard time coming up with something to do in my sketchbook, I will just do these colored squares that I then turn into little jewels. I love this color here and how it speaks to that. This was made using a variety of mediums, but mostly it looks like the Tombow markers and some colored pencils and a couple like Posca pens here and there. But oh, so nice. We're getting into just more mixed media, Posca plus colored pencil. Love that. This is during a conversation that I was having where I realized my card for this month was going to be Fortify. Also, I love these little bottle trees. They're so charming. And then here is the original design for the Fortify card. I was thinking about a little tomato plant and the way that we help to fortify them so they can grow stronger and taller. And like, how can we fortify ourselves for the same purpose? Love this. Started thinking about like a layering, like using multiple colors in a background and then creating with the negative space versus creating with positive space. This is something that I was talking to my two friends, both named M, about and ended up doing a lot in the rest of the sketchbook. And this is just a pen drawing. Definitely got a lot of rubbings from this page, which is something that I also tried to like really allow myself to surrender to, is that like it's gonna be messy in here. And that was a really good practice for me. Some birds and fish. This little guy with pants on. These are from my camping trip too. My friend Lindsay brought one of those thermal printing cameras, and so these are just two images from our free time camping. This tape was made by my friend M. Yeah, I think it's just like such a sweet, like scrapbooking moment in my sketchbook. My friend M gave me a set of Kwik sticks, which are tempera paint sticks that are made for kids, recommended to us originally by our friend Cheyenne, who has a son and he makes a lot of art. And these are great because they don't smear, they kind of like immediately dry, they're easy to layer, just like a glue stick sort of application. And I absolutely fell in love with them. I love the texture. I love the way that they break apart. I love the way they show up on top of one another. M specifically gave me the metallic ones from their set, and I often forget they're metallic until they're in a brighter light setting because it is so subtle, which I appreciate, because I'm not necessarily trying to make metallic art, but I am trying to play with whatever this is. So here are just some examples. As I was figuring out the medium, I would create these like colorful compositions like this one, and then go over with Posca markers and create shapes. So that's what was happening here with this little cat and these flowers. I love this one. And this definitely began to inform the home oracle card that I created last month in April. Just like so yummy, so much good stuff, so many interesting things that can come out of a medium that can layer and be layered upon. Sometimes with waxy things like this, it's hard to layer over them. Like they almost don't accept the Posca markers, but these do. And that is such a treat. Love this one. Just feel like these flowers are so weird and melty, and yeah, there's something really cool about it to me. Some more animals. Little armadillo, horse, fish, cat. Oh my god, I love these. It's almost like stained glass to me. So it's the Kwik Stix plus just some little tiny bits of colored pencil. They're just really juicy. No other way to describe them, really. This is one of my favorite pieces in the sketchbook. Totally made with Kwik Stix. I love these like borders. I love the way these colors mix here. I love the way that green is created through the overlapping of the blue and the yellow. There's just so much texture, and it's also so clean. Just unlike anything else that might make these types of textures and layer in this way would normally just be like smearing under my hand, but there's nothing, which is just such a delight. I mean, that's why it's great for kids. Just some more Kwik Stix, a little titmouse from my bird feeder camera. Continuing to play with this sort of like watercolor smearing, layering. I like this. I like these colors together. Also, this goofy little doggy is so funny. Like the sideways eyeball just like really gets me. That was a situation where it was, I just made a bunch of colors and shapes, and then I tried to find a shape inside of it, and the dog was what merged. More for April. Love these scalloped textures. Obsessed. I'm so into this. There's just so many parts that are like a feast for my eyes. Oh, I love this one. It's so sweet. After I made this, I texted a friend and was like, I don't know where this is, but can we go together? Because it's just like such a dreamy little cottage. Like almost like gingerbread house, but without the ominous vibes. I love the little horse on the hill. The texture here. It was mostly Kwik Stix, but also some Posca and some colored pencil. More Kwik Stix, more smeary layering. Definitely brought Posca into the center of the flowers. I love these. I love seeing the progression of how the Kwik Stix were incorporated into how I was playing in the sketchbook. This was the first Kwik Stix drawing, and then you move to this one, and they're a little less than a month apart, but you can tell that I just really was getting more and more into how can I layer these, how can I add interesting shapes and colors. They just feel like prisms or like stained glass. Yeah, I really like them. I love this one. More Kwik sticks and Posca. And I've also been making some textures. Not really sure what I'll be using them for, but this just is like such a nice texture. I feel like it could be really nice on like a thank you card or a background of like a graphic on social media, or I don't know. I think I'm thinking even too small in those cases, but this is just really nice. I really like it. This is all colored pencil, which is rare for the sketchbook. Love this. I like these jewel tones too. I went and bought some Prismacolor pencils and chose a really limited color palette so that I would be challenged by what was available, and yeah, I love these colors together. While I was working on this, I was watching a tour of some treasure that was found in the ocean that is currently in the collection of I believe the Victoria Albert Museum, and I love it. I love, like, these are just little flowers that were on this golden cup that was found in a shipwreck. These are just stones from this ring that was created with found stones. And then this is a big hair comb. I love the colors. There's like a layering of the Kwik sticks, the Stabilo, pencil, crayon things, Posca, just a lot of layered textures. More layering, more rainbows. I love these sweet guys. Some color palette, considerations, research, playing around with a friend's art supplies. I also wanted to show the final page in my sketchbook. This isn't done, I have maybe like 4 pages left, but I wanted to share the page that I have been using for cleaning my tools, essentially. So when I needed to clean a Posca pen or test out a marker or pen or pencil, I would just come here. And over time, it just like really got like thick and layered up. At times it would like stick to itself and rip. And I think it's just like a really cool mini palette in the back of the sketchbook. I also freaking love how dirty the spine got, and like how you can tell when I got to the Kwik sticks in my process of discovery, because these pages are so coated compared to the ones where I was just using Posca or markers. And this like drip from a Posca pen, so good. So funny. I love it. I'm so grateful that I committed to spending this time with my artwork. I'm looking forward to working on my next one, which I've actually already started. I started it when I took a trip recently, and so more to come. And that's it. I really appreciate you watching. I'm so grateful for your time, energy, and attention, and I hope to see you back here again soon. If you want to support my work on Patreon, I'll put the link here and in the description. You can follow me on whatever socials you like to follow artists on. It would mean a lot to me if you subscribed and liked this video, if you liked it, and if you want to see more from me. All right, thanks so much. Have a great day.